For class today, you will need your 2 blocks and your strap, massage ball. Blankets are always welcome and often used, and then a chair. If you have access to a chair and you want to have use that for anything that we're doing today, you can have that next to you. We are going to be working on some balancing poses today. Oh, good. I can make my little announcement. And okay, as after our next person signs on. Hi, if you've just signed on, I just want to remind you to please leave your mic turned off until the very end, until I come back up to the screen to say goodbye to everyone. That way we can have a recording that is ready to go up on our YouTube channel. Okay, so I was saying we just need our usual props, and I think that's it. Welcome to those of you who just came on. I'm so happy to see your faces and your names. So we're still in the Omer. Tonight will be the 32nd day of the Omer in the 49-day stretch of counting the days until we reached the pinnacle of our journey, and we received Torah, we received wisdom. And so I'm exploring during this time of the Omer, some of the aspects of journeying, taking our own journeys, internal spiritual journeys and external physical journeys in the world, especially right now during a time where we are hopefully coming out of the pandemic and experiencing life in a new way. So I have this reading by Norman Fisher. It's cited in Estelle Frankel's article, Entering the Unknown. I really like it, so I wanted to bring that to you today. So find a comfortable, peaceful way to settle in, and if you want to close your eyes to take in the words and see what resonates with you, I invite you to do that. When we know something and rest in that knowing, we limit our vision. We will only see what our knowing will allow us to see. In this way, our experience can be our enemy. True, our experience has shown us something about ourselves and about life. But this moment, this situation that faces us right now, this patient, this person, this family, this illness, this task, this pain or beauty, we have never seen it before. What is it? How do we respond? I don't know. I bow before the beauty and uniqueness of what I am facing. Not knowing, I am ready to be surprised, ready to listen and understand, ready to respond as needed, ready to let others respond, ready to do nothing at all if that is what is called for. I can be informed by my past experience, but it is much better if I am ready and able to let that go and just be present, just listen, just not know. Experience, knowledge, wisdom, these are good, but when I examine things closely, I can see that they remove me from what's in front of me. When I know, I bring myself forward, imposing myself and my experience on this moment. When I don't know, I let experience come forward and reveal itself. When I can let go of my experience, knowledge, and wisdom, I can be humble in the face of what is, and when I am humble, I am ready to be truly fearless and intimate. I can enter into this moment fully engaged and open to what the situation will show me. So let yourself settle into these words. Feel your seat. Feel your spine. Feel your head resting on top of your spine. Allow your palms to face upward, perhaps in more of an open, receptive shape. Taking a moment to acknowledge whatever journey you are on. Right now, it could be a journey of healing or transition or celebration. We're going to balance our brains with alternate nostril breath today. So I'll walk you through the first few rounds and then you can continue on your own. So I bring my peace fingers of my right hand to the forehead, center of the head, and then we'll alternate with the thumb and the ring finger, closing off each nostril at different times. If you're congested, please don't worry about it and just do some belly breathing in a way that feels calm and soothing to your nervous system. If you're starting alternate nostril breath with me, you can set your hand up, your right hand up, and take a breath in through both nostrils. And then exhale, let it out. And then close your right nostril and breathe in through your left. Close the left and breathe out through the right. Inhale through the right. Close the right, exhale through left. Inhale left. Close left, exhale right. Inhale right. Close right, exhale left. And continue on your own. Take another full round and let your exhale end on the left side. And when you're complete, let your palms rest face up once again and return to a natural rhythm of breath for you. Notice what's happening in your body and mind. Let us enter our yoga practice, the physical aspects of our practice today, with the beginner's mind, with not knowing how something will feel, not knowing what message the body may have for us in that moment, just being as open as possible to the journey through our bodies. To the unanswered questions of our lives. We're going to start today lying on our backs with our yoga straps. And you can have your block near you, and if you have your chair, you can move it off to the side. So let's open up the legs to get them ready for our balancing poses today. So let's bring the strap around the right foot, and the left knee can be bent or extended. And so check in with your lower back today, and also with your hip flexors, and just see what needs to happen to be able to focus on that right leg as it is extended toward the sky. And flex your right foot, and just enter tenderly into this stretch. Notice your right hip bone, and if it's hiking up a little bit toward your lower rib cage on the right side, shift your hip downward toward the foot of your mat to create some space in the rib cage. And you may notice too that that helps you to isolate your leg a little bit more. And breathe here. Can you release your shoulders a little bit and the muscles of your face? Take both of those straps into your left hand and start to cross over your body, keeping the foot flexed and pressing the foot into the strap, looking for a stretch or some sensation in the outer right hip. Keep your breath flowing. Start to bring the strap back up to center, the leg to center, and change hands. Bring your left hand to your frontal left hip bone, and you might even have a little bend in that right knee now as you open your leg out to the side. Engage your belly and keep your left leg really activated. So your glutes on your left side are going to keep firmly attempting to root down into the mat so that your whole left bun doesn't come flying off the mat. So only go as far as you can before that happens, and look for an opening in that inner thigh on the right side. And breathe. Keep your belly pulled in, so we want to keep the back supported in this. And on your next exhale, tighten your core as if you are going to do a sit-up, and then bring the leg back up to center. Good. And then I'll hold the straps with both hands, and you can wrap your hands around it so that you're not having to grip, and do that internal and external rotation with the whole leg. So little key in the keyhole movement, and feel that movement originating from deep in the hip socket, and go nice and slow. Good. Go ahead and release the strap from this leg and extend that right leg long along the floor, and just shake it from side to side, get some blood flow back, and do some ankle rotations in both directions. Good. And then when you're ready, bring the strap over to that left foot, and the right knee can be bent or straight. And start with just as straight of a leg as you're able to, with the foot flexed, toes pointing toward your nose. And notice what the back of this leg feels like. What sensations do you have? What quality are those sensations? get curious. And then take both straps into your right hand this time and start to cross your leg over to the right and press into the strap. You might even like visually see your leg looking like it's getting a little longer as it reaches diagonally up toward the strap. Good. Breathe here and keep flexing your foot. Bring the leg back up to center and change hands. Bring your right hand to your frontal right hip bone and squeeze your glutes on that right side. And then start to open your leg out to the side. Maybe your knee will be a little bit bent to just help take pressure off the back. Looking for an inner thigh stretch on the left side. One more breath here. Keep pulling the belly in. And on your exhale, start to bring the leg slowly back up to center. And then hold the straps with both hands. Wrap the straps around your hands so that your elbows can rest on the floor. And start to turn your leg inward and outward. So really just the heel, you can visually see the heel moving from side to side and the toes moving. And then the whole leg, it's almost like it's one big long bone. It's just turning all at the same time. Relax your jaw. And then we're going to go ahead and release the strap from the side and stretch your left leg now onto the floor, and then the right leg as well. So you're just lying flat on the floor. Do some ankle rotations with that left ankle and maybe just add in that right ankle again. And then we're going to bend the knees. Let's go ahead and hug the knees into the chest for a moment and just give ourselves a little stretch here. Maybe even making some circles along the mat as we touch the edges of our sacrum and lower the very lowest tip of the sacrum and the tailbone. Just massaging the outer edges of that. And go both directions. Good. And let's bring the feet to the floor and keep the knees bent. And we're going to do a little more work with the psoas here. We've done this one other time. It really requires a lot of gentle work, a gentle touch. So knees are bent. The heels of your hands are going to wedge up against the hip crease. So below your frontal hip bones, just toward the top of your thighs, the heels of your hands are going to rest. The fingers are spread wide. And your knees are about hip width apart. So that's about the width of the skinny side of a block. And then just start to gently press with equal pressure. Press with both hands into the top of your thighs. Very slowly. As soon as you do, you may feel a little bit of traction in your lower spinal area. And you can pause there and take some breaths. And focus on breathing into the belly. So imagine that your lower belly has a very big balloon, and as you breathe in, you can feel and maybe even see the expansion of that balloon. And as you exhale, become more aware of the traction in your lumbar spine. The next time you exhale, slowly, very slowly release the pressure of your hands. For just a moment. Take a breath again to prepare. And as you exhale one more time, we're going to gently press into the top of the thighs. Straighten the arms a little bit. Do less than you think you can. So we really want to tread lightly with this stretch. Again, belly breathing. We'll take one more deep breath in. And on the exhale, slowly releasing that pressure on the thighs. And then walk your feet away from each other to the outer edges of your mat and keep your knees leaning in toward each other. Your arms now, let's release the wrists. So let's do some wrist rotations. And then decide, do you want your arms overhead or out to the sides or on your body? It's up to you. If you have your arms overhead, this is going to create a little more opening through the front of the abdomen and the hip flexors, because we're going to start to drop the knees over to the left very slowly. And the soles of your feet are going to come up, but the placement of your feet will stay the same. And first, just go really slowly from side to side, keeping always a slight engagement in the lower belly. And just notice where you feel this. Where do you feel stretching? The next time your knees have moved over to the left, go ahead and pause there. You might even press your right knee toward the floor a little bit more with a little more activation to get into the quadricep muscle, the upper thigh. Take a deep breath into that side belly area. And on an exhale, start to bring the knees over to the right. And this time, maybe pressing with your left knee toward the floor a little bit more. As you breathe in, expand the left belly area. Exhale. And then slowly bring those knees back up to center. And then we'll hug the knees into the chest again, and then keep the knees wide this time if that feels okay for your body, just to get into both inner thighs. More ankle rotations. Let's release any stuck energy in the feet and ankles. Good. And then bring your feet back to the floor. Your knees are bent still. So we're doing quite a few preparatory moves on our backs today. So straighten out your shoulders, slide them down away from your ears. Palms are flat on the floor next to your hips. And now we'll release our neck. So lift the right arm up overhead and turn your head to the left, so looking away from the armpit. And pause there, and I feel a nice stretch in the front and side of the right neck. On your exhale, go ahead and return to starting position. And then the left arm lifts up as you look to the right. Breathing in as you're turning the head, and breathing out as you come back to center. So let's do that nice and slow. Let the pace of your breath be the guide for the speed of your movement. Good. Looks good. Wherever you're at, let's just do one more. Bringing the hands back down. Good. All right, we are going to actually turn to our side. So I'm going to turn onto my left side first and stack the hips and the shoulders. And so this is where if you want to block, or what's ideal is a blanket kind of folded to the height you need, because we're going to be moving around a little bit. But if a block works for you, great, because the head's going to move from side to side a little bit. So we're stacking the knees and the hips and the shoulders as best as we can, and then bringing the hands to touch each other. So the palms are also, and arms and palms are also stacked. Reach like you're reaching out in front of you. So from here, we're going to stretch that right arm. The fingertips are going to move past those the left hand just a little bit, and we're going to create space between the shoulder blades as we reach. And then keeping that top hand really heavy, we're going to slide it along the lower arm, slide it across the chest, and then open up into a T position. If as much as you can is comfortable. Some of you may want to stop and not extend if it puts any strain on your shoulder, and that's okay. We're just looking for a little bit of opening through the chest. As soon as you've opened up, then bend the right arm again and start to reverse your trail. You're going to slide the top hand all the way back to the left hand again, reaching past those bottom fingertips. The key to this movement is breath and very slow. Very slow. So think of honey, like when you pour honey out of a bottle, how it moves pretty slow. Make your movements honey-like. Last one. And as your hand starts to track back up towards your chest, you can also start to bring your knees back up. Take your time. And we're going to roll to the other side, stacking the right hips, on the right side, the hips, knees, shoulders. Getting as aligned as you can, and then starting to reach the left hand past the right one, really looking for that opening behind the heart space, and then sliding the hand across the body and coming into your version of a twist or open arm. Keep breathing. And if this twist feels too intense, just know, just like in our other twists, you can always put a block between your knees if you need to, or under your bottom knee is a possibility as well. Sometimes we are more mobile on one side than the other. We'll do one more without any rush. Think of the honey quality of movement. Good. And then as you slide your arm back toward your body, engage your core, and then shift yourself so that you're on your back for a moment. And one more time, bring the knees into the chest, maybe rock from side to side. And then we're going to, you can roll to your side to press yourself up, or you can rock yourself up. Be mindful that you might be a little dizzy as you come up, since we were on our backs for a bit. So we're going to come into a cat-cow. So let's come onto our knees. Wrists are under the shoulders and knees are right under the hips, and just come into your flexion and extension of your spine. We've done cat-cow so many times, right? It's kind of a staple movement in yoga. How can you approach it as if you don't know, like you've never done a cat-cow before? What would you discover if you approached your cat-cow with curiosity and a new mind, an open, empty mind? What would happen if you brought a little side bending, tail wagging combination to your movement? How would you move if there weren't any rules about cat-cow? What would feel good? When you're ready, I invite you to open your knees nice and wide and come into a child's pose, so the head can rest on the floor or on a block. Surrendering into this shape. Not knowing, I am ready to be surprised, ready to listen and understand, ready to respond as needed, ready to let others respond, ready to do nothing at all if that what is called for. Let's all come back up to all fours, and we are going to meet standing with our massage ball nearby. So you can keep it just in front of you, and we'll start with some energy medicine, doing our 3 thumps. So let's tap under the collarbones, nice vigorous, tapping with deep breaths. And the center of the chest, nice big breath in and let out a big ah. Ah, good. And then knocking on the rib cage, tapping, knocking, even just massaging with your knuckles on the sides of the ribs. And shake it out. We will do a little feed our chi, our life force energy, by bringing the hands to the lower back. So the back of your hands are going to settle right on top of your hip bones, and do a little rub up and down and around, and add a little bounce, a little soft bounce. Breathe in through your nose, and nice audible sigh or blowing through the lips. Good. And then start to let your arms go, and then just do a little shaking. Just shaking out all the things that you know. Make yourself empty. Make yourself open to wisdom. Shake it out. Shake out all the things you think you know for sure. All the things that might cause tension because you're so sure that you know. Just shake it out. Good, good. And then And slowly let your shaking come to stillness with your feet in parallel. Notice how you feel. So let's prepare the feet for our balancing poses today. So you've got your ball in front of you. Go ahead and bring it under your right foot. And just start to give your foot some love. And make sure that you get some contact with the edges of your feet, which can be a little tricky, you know, because the ball wants to escape. But if you touch the edges of your feet, the inner arch, even up to the big toe and across the other toes, and then down the side of the outside arch, just waking up the edges of your feet, getting into some of those reflex points for the body, for the organs of our body. Good. And then let's pause in mountain pose and just check in with that right foot, or whichever foot you just massage, and just feel the connection. Notice the edges of your feet. Can you feel their connection with the mat? Are you aware of your heel and the ball of your foot? Can you lift your toes away from the mat and attempt to spread them apart a little bit and then place them back down without gripping? Imagine a kind of a suction cup energy of that foot on your mat. And then we'll switch over to the left side, or the side you haven't massaged yet, and just do the same thing. Just start giving it a little rub, a little ironing out. Paying a visit to all the edges of your feet and toes. It doesn't have to be a lot of pressure. Just say hello. Make contact. Okay, let's move the ball off of the mat and return to parallel feet. And this time give the left side, or the side you just did, more attention. So can you feel the outer edge of your foot and the inner edge? Are you aware of your heel and the ball of your foot? And then lift the toes as fast as you can and try to spread them, even if you just imagine spreading them, and then place them back down. Suction cup kind of energy. And then reconnect now to that right foot so that you have equal attention on both feet, both heels, the inner arches, the outer edges, the toes. Rooted in support. So we'll practice some dynamic balance. So you're always welcome to use something stable to hold on to if you need that, and or feel safer with that. We will start with our left leg as our standing leg, and lift the right leg up and just start to swing it forward and back. And your arms can counterbalance, so that's always a little helpful. Just swinging it forward and back very gently. As you notice how much work your ankle is doing on the standing side. And your leg. Good. And slow that swinging down, and see if you can just take the leg out in front of your body and just move it from side to side, like you're drawing a line from side to side. So warming up those adductors and abductors, those inner and outer thighs. Good. Arms out to the side is very helpful. And release. Okay, now shake out or tap or give your standing leg some love. And then we'll do the other side. So the right leg is standing leg. Make sure the toes are pointed forward. And you feel that connection with your mat before you start to swing your leg forward and back. It's also very helpful to look at something that's not moving. Find a little spot to focus your gaze. Good. And then start to slow down and bring the leg out in front of you, and then just crossing the body from right to left. Pull your belly in. Good. Dynamic balance. And release. Okay, so shake that out. Maybe do some tapping on the thighs. All right, we are going to do a forward fold now. So remember that you have blocks to land if the floor is out of your reach or just barely in your reach. And you also can use the seat of your chair to only come halfway down if that works better for your body. Feet are parallel, hip width apart. Inhale, reach up. Good. Exhale, dive forward with a flat back. And your knees can bend if they need to. No worries. You can bend those knees. Release the weight of your head. Get some blood flow to the brain. Now remember that all that work we did with the feet, become very aware of them as you press into both of them and start to lift your head and your heart, arms out to the side. Reach up overhead and hands to your heart. Good. Take a breath here. This time, we're going to open across the chest as we come into a forward fold. Some of you might want to use a strap for that. Some of you will clasp your hands. Some of you may just hold opposite elbows. So use whatever technique is going to help you open across the chest. So either strap, clasp, opposite elbows. We're going to reach the chest forward, bend the knees, come into a forward fold. This time really focusing on the shoulders and the chest opening. Release your arms, start to rise up with a flat back. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Okay, you can have your blocks at the top of your mat in case you need them, at least one, and or a chair. We're going to do triangle pose. So we're going to start with that right foot forward. Both legs are going to be straight. Right leg is forward, left leg is turned in. Open that stance nice and wide. And then look for hyperextension of that front leg. So if you tend to hyperextend or hurt behind your knee, just put a little micro bend in that front knee, which is really challenging to do, but it helps protect the knee. And then open up those arms. Good. And before you tilt any direction, just slide that right arm out past your toes if you can, and pull your belly in. Pull it in nice and strong. And now from here, look down for your block or whatever support you're going to use. You can even use your shin. And come into triangle. We're working on rotating the heart, the chest up toward the sky. And breathe. Good. Bend the front knee just to help you float your arms back up. Good. Pause here and step your feet together. Do some shoulder rotations. So with the same, we're going to stay opening the same inner thigh. So from here we'll take tree pose. So your left leg is your standing leg. Bring your right foot somewhere inside your leg, not on your knee joint though. Use support as needed and take tree pose. Finding a drishti or a gazing point to help you stay focused. Calming the breath. Beautiful. Start to come out of this side. And then we're going to stay with the same standing leg and take a stork pose with an optional twist. So I'm going to turn sideways for this. So we'll stay with that left leg is standing. Use your hip flexors that are nice and warmed up to lift the knee out in front of you. Pull the belly in. You can stay just like this. You can use your arms to help you with balance. Or you can grab hold of your thigh with your left hand or your knee with your left hand. Bring your right hand to your right hip or back in back of you with an open. Lots of options. It doesn't matter which one you choose. What matters is that you are true to yourself and to your body and to your body's needs. That's yoga. Good. And come on out of that. Nice. And just shake that leg out. I just did a lot of work. Okay, so next we'll do triangle on the left side. So let's make sure there's a block handy or chair. Both legs are straight, nice and wide. Left toes are pointed forward. Arms out. And then slide your left arm past or past your toes, right? Pull the belly in. You should feel lots of engagement in your oblique area, the side abs. And then when you're ready, rotate those arms. Use support as you need it. Press your hips a little bit forward. Reach for the heavens. Squeeze the thighs to keep your lower body nice and strong. On an exhale, bend that front knee and float your arms back up. Good. Step your feet together. Right leg is your standing leg as you take tree. So bend the left knee. See if you can place it in the same general area as the other side to find your tree pose. Remember, suction cup feet. So all edges of your foot is connected. Every edge of your foot is connected to your mat. Heel, ball, toes, all of it. Finding equanimity in the unstable. Good. Release this side and we're going to come right into a stork pose. So lifting right toes face forward, we're going to lift the knee, left knee. Standing leg is really firm, so squeeze the thigh and then take your version. Maybe you're just going to look straight ahead with arms open, or maybe you'll take a little twist towards your left side. You can play around with it, decide where to land. Keep your core pulled in and your breath flowing. And gently release. Good. You can move if you had a chair, you can move it off to the side. We are going to open up the hips now. with a figure 4 stretch. So you can do that from a chair if you like, or you can come to your back. But we will, moving forward, we will be lying down or on our backs. So we've got the right ankle crossing over the left knee or thigh. And sometimes this is enough to feel an outer hip stretch, especially when you press your knee away from you, your right knee. Or you can hold on to the back of your thigh, your left thigh. From a chair, we can affect the depth of the stretch by hinging forward at our hip crease. Let's take 5 breaths. Every exhale is an invitation to release something that you don't need. And slowly let this go and change sides. Take a few more breaths. With every exhale, letting go of something you don't need. And release. And check in with your body to see what it might need. Is there anything else that you need before you set your body up for Savasana? Notice now the connection of your back body on your mat. Feel the edges of your body and feel the soft tissue of your body beginning to settle in, melt into the mat. Feel your head, the skull, and the bones of your body start to release into gravity. As you begin to settle into rest, reflect on what it is that you are yearning to know, to be certain of in your life right now. What would it be like to let go of the need to know? Can you find deep peace in the mystery? Let every exhale invite a deeper release into this moment, just as it is, into the mystery, into not knowing. Deep peace in the lotus of my heart. Deep peace in the space of my mind. Deep peace in the earth of my bones. Deep peace in the rivers of my blood. Deep peace in the wind of my breath. Deep peace in the belly of my being. Deep peace in every part of me. As I rest within one divinity. One divinity, deep peace, deep peace. Bring a hand to your heart and a hand to your belly. Ask that deep wisdom within what it is that you need. What would help you to live in the unknown, to journey in the unknown? What do you need? Take your time. Whenever you're ready, roll to your side. Move your body. Awaken your senses. And slowly finding your way eventually to your seat with your hands in prayer at your heart. And we will close with our universal blessing. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be free. May all beings be loved, and may all beings have peace. May it be so. Ken Yehi Ratzon. Shalom.